Tyler McGee here. Wanted to shoot a video for the older demographic out there that's working on their games. Potentially you're inside right now trying to get better. So I wanted to give you a couple things to pay attention to when you're swinging with the ball or without, and ways to help you move better if you had an injury in the past, or you're trying to if you finish the round and you find you're sore, say in your lower back or something like that. Some ideas to pay attention to see if you can move a little bit easier on your joints and make it more fun for you to play. Playing with pain is never fun, so I wanted to just give you some ideas how to move away from those movements that are causing pain. Okay, so we're going to start with just hands and arms in the swing on this one. Okay, so when I get set up here, first thing that we need to pay attention to, so when the club is moving the fastest, okay, so as we're approaching impact into impact, that's when the club's going to be moving the fastest. That's going to be the most stress that's put on your body. So I want to start there and we'll sort of work back from there. Okay, so there's a lot of things that set you up to this position, but the first thing I want to figure out for you as a player is what's comfortable. Okay, is it more comfortable if you go, here's my impact, right? So if I keep rotating, if I sort of get to that spot and say I'm adding a little bit of this, like this right shoulder going down, and I feel a little pinch in my lower back. Okay, so for you, it's working off of, okay, what's comfortable. So say this is comfortable for you. Okay, that comfortable impact where your shoulder is a bit more square, your hips are a bit more square, your feet are a little bit more flat on the ground. Okay, so we're going to use that as a reference for the starting point. Things to do to help you. Okay, so if that's your comfortable impact position, right, where everything's a bit more square, this right foot's going to be on the ground, meaning that your pressure is probably going to be further back in your stance at impact, sort of maybe a little bit closer to 50-50. What I like to do when I see a player where it's comfortable there is I'm actually going to let them move the ball back a little bit, so their low point, even with a 50-50 impact or with a square impact with their body, their low point is going to be far enough back where they're going to still strike the ball solid. Okay, so if I have my normal setup and I'm moving off this back foot, yeah, it's fine to have the ball, center to maybe a little bit ahead of center, but if I'm hitting and I'm staying square is going to keep it a little bit shallow, and staying on this back foot is going to keep it a little bit shallow. So what I want to do is I want to move the ball back to ensure a good strike. Okay, so if I move the ball back to ensure a good strike and my hips and chest are square, I can sort of offset that with, okay, if I want it to draw and I play the ball back and I stay square, that ball is going to want to probably draw a little bit because my path typically is going to be from the inside. Another thing to pay attention to, I'm just going to grab another ball here, is when you're set up in there, if you find impact to be more comfortable where you're square and 50-50 weight, watch that when you come down, your arms don't outrace you, okay? Because that's a fault that I see a lot when players are having a tough time finding that rotation at impact. It's okay if you don't have it, is they try to get all the energy really quick this way. So I'm fine with getting energy, but make sure it stays on the inside of the golf ball as you're trying to get that energy. Okay, so if I get up top, I want the club moving this direction to get the power, even if I have to keep my feet down and stay square with my body, I can produce a really nice strike with that. Pay attention to how your wrists are post impact. If you find that the wrists, they're going to take a bit of this, they're going to take a little bit more of this energy through the hit because our body's not able to support the club. So then it's trying to find for you, as we come in with this back ball position, as we hit it, okay, to find more rotation to help the wrists post impact. If you can figure out this left foot position being maybe a little bit more open, or allowing it to spin a little bit, or having it drop back a little bit, right, like almost like a Lee Trevino, you have this back, but it's the same thing. You sort of set up, you have this foot back. I'm just thinking for the wrists on the way through that we don't want them overdoing. So if I keep my body square and I let my wrist just go through, this wrist and this right wrist are going to take a lot of that. They're going to try to slow down the club because they're going to have to. So if I can let my foot, so if I do it like this, I drop my foot back, I'm throwing the club here, and then I'm trying to let my foot sort of spin on the way through to help me control that release pattern. I think that's a good way for players that are older, they're having a tough time getting really open at impact or finding themselves, if they're trying to do that, they get a bit sore. that would be a good way to start your practice sessions, and then you can play around with baseline setup and then the feels of the swing, meaning club coming more from here or coming a little bit more from there to help you dictate that ball flight.